It's been way too long since I reviewed the last of your underwater films. So today it's time to revive this series with another one of reviewing your underwater films. Coming up. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing another one of your underwater films, and for today's video I've picked out a film, a submission by Peter Lamshed. Without any further ado, let's get right into the video. As always, I'm gonna link Peter's video and his YouTube channel down in the video description below, so feel free to go over and pay him a visit after you've watched the video here. So let's start the video and get right into it. Very nice animation to start off with. Nice, some seals, cool. A little shaky there, but not too bad. Interesting choice of music there, Pete. As far as I can tell, Pete is from Australia, and this film, the footage is taken in Australia as well. These are really cool fish. I like that. That's very interesting. Alright, so we're changing location, I'm guessing. I do like this kind of music much better, Pete. Good choice. It seems like you're using one light to light up your images. I think it would be beneficial if you'd have two lights, so you wouldn't have that. Oh wow, that's nice. Well, yeah, anyways, I think you would benefit of using two lights, so you wouldn't have that hot spot in the middle of your footage, but rather have a more evenly lit image. That looks like a pretty big ray. That was an interesting sound. I'm guessing this was part of the music. A little shaky there with the footage. Well, that's an interesting perspective there. Something you don't really see too often. Oh, there we go. I do actually like the colors of your footage, Pete. I think they look very natural. Even though you do have some parts of the footage that sometimes seems to be a little overexposed. But I guess that's a question also what kind of camera you're using to capture these images. Depending on what it is, you might not even be able to control the exposure manually. Pretty cool. It seems like you have quite a few interesting species living in that area that you're diving at. Oh, there's a seahorse there. Very cool. I didn't see that at first. And these are actually quite interesting shots, but I would try to level them out a little bit rather than filming them sort of in an odd angle. And the seals again. Gotta love these puppies. Alright, and that seems to be the end. Alright. Awesome. Let me just stop the recording here. Right, excellent. Well done, Pete. A nice piece of underwater imagery. I've already made some comments during the film itself, but I've got a few more things that I would like to say. First of all, as I said previously, I really liked your colors. I think that the way you film looks is pretty nice. The colors look very natural. They don't seem to be oversaturated, but there's still plenty of color in them, which is nice. I think, or I would say that you have put some time into correcting these colors, so correcting the colors, or they just came out of the camera like this, which is even better. Again, I don't really know what camera you've used to film this, but it seems to have been working quite well. A few tips that I would like to give you. First of all, think about the story. I know that you were trying to, I think it was a dive weekend that you were capturing here, and I know that you were trying to go from like the start to the end of the dive weekend. Also with the titles where you were telling us that this is Saturday and this is Sunday and different dive sites. Still, I would try to give a little more context in terms of making it a story. Sometimes this can be tricky because you never really know what you're going to experience and what you're going to encounter during a dive. Nevertheless, it would have been nice to to have a bit more of a story behind it, because right now as it is, there's nice clips in here and you've put them together nicely. For me, it's not really, it doesn't really convey a story. It's more of a feeling that it conveys. And I think that the music, the first piece of music, I didn't really like too much. I think it was too kind of upbeat for the imagery that we saw coming with the music. The other pieces of music that you used after that, I think they were much more fitting to what we were seeing. Also, I would suggest you work on the stability of your footage. Some of the clips, actually quite a few of the clips, were rather shaky, and I would have probably kept the clips, some of the clips, a little shorter. Sometimes it seemed like you were just keeping the part of the clip in there even after you kind of decided that you don't want to film anymore, but the camera went sideways and it was all shifting and there was movement in the camera, which I think wasn't particularly wanted from your side, but you still left it in the film. So I would cut those sequences out. The film itself is rather long, being something like 7 minutes and something, so it would be perfectly fine to cut out the pieces that are too shaky and that where the camera goes sideways. I think you're not really adding any value by keeping those sequences in your final edit. Also, another thing that I would like to pass on to you is try to get onto eye level with your subject, or even a little below that if you can. You've done that on a couple of clips where you were filming some corals, the seahorse and stuff. We were filming up to the surface. This looks really nice, but then there was quite a few clips we were filming from top down, and this oftentimes doesn't really end up to be the best possible way you can film a scene. I know sometimes it's difficult, especially with rays and stuff, to get below them, which normally doesn't really work, but try to get onto eye level with these animals. There's just gonna be the clip or the imagery that you're gonna get is just gonna be a lot more dramatic than filming it from up to the bottom, down to the bottom. Yeah, so that's basically the tips that I can give you on the film itself. Think about your storyline, try to cut out pieces that shouldn't really be in the film, or sequences or parts of your clips that are too shaky. Try to work on stabilizing your footage, whether that be by adding a tray to your camera and making it more stable that way, working on your buoyancy so you can keep more stable yourself. That's also gonna make your footage more stable, and try to think more about going to eye level with your objects when filming them, rather than filming them from top down. So I would say just keep those 3 things in mind, and by doing these on your next filming project underwater, I'm sure you're gonna get a film that's gonna be even better than what you've produced in this film and in this episode here. And that's pretty much all I have to say to this film, Pete. Again, well done. Thank you so much for submitting your work and letting me review it here on the channel in the series Reviewing Your Underwater Films. If any of you guys have a film that you would like me to review here in this series, feel free to send me an email to contact@matthiaslebo.com with the link to the film that you want me to review. It's always beneficial if you can also let me know what equipment you've used to film that piece of work that you did, because that way I can kind of reference to it as well, and maybe also give you some tips on what I think would be beneficial in extra equipment for you to get better footage the next time. So that sums up our video for today, reviewing your underwater films. Thank you so much for watching, and Pete, again, thank you so much for submitting your film. Well done, good work, keep up on working on your underwater video skills, and I'm sure you're gonna be improving on these very, very quickly. So not much more to say from my side then. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week, guys. Don't forget to capture your underwater adventures, and I will see you next week.